Hi, Linda. So sorry for the delay. My computer started to freeze up and was slow, and I was like, we're just
Okay.
gonna restart it, and that helped a
Yeah.
lot. So now we're good
Okay.
to go. Sorry about
Yeah.
that.
No problem. No problem.
Did you have a good week?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a wonderful vacation. We got back. All kinds of things have gone wrong in our house this week. So we've been dealing with a lot.
No.
Washing machine broke, holding some of my clothes hostage. Um,
Yikes.
the we have a supplemental furnace, a wood furnace, and my husband tried to start it, and it was filling the garage and the house with smoke because there's a
No.
huge bird nest at the top.
Oh,
We had mice. It's just been it's been quite a week.
whoa. My goodness. You go away for a brief
Right.
vacation, you come back and you're like, the house is falling apart.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, well, I hope that it all gets sorted out soon.
Yeah. Right.
My husband and I recently had, I've never had to deal with this before, but we had not like crazy, but just like a little bit of a cockroach issue. And I was like, I've
Uh-huh.
never had to deal with this. And it was like, we think it might have come, someone had gifted us a wine fridge for our
Oh,
wedding, and it seemed like they were all like concentrated around that, but there also was an outlet that was a new outlet that had been put in right next to it on the floor. So we're like, we
ah,
don't know if they're getting in through the outlet or if they like came from inside the wine fridge. But yeah, we had a tiny cockroach problem, but I think we've got it under control now.
yeah.
But he was
There's
like, no,
not
this
much
is
that.
serious. Like, he was like, we got to stop it now. And I was like, oh, I've never dealt with this before. I don't know what to
Right.
do even.
Lots of
My
spray.
husband was on it. He like,
Good.
there's this white powder stuff. I don't know. He knew what to do,
All
but I was
right.
like, I
Good.
didn't know. But he
Yeah.
like opened up the back of the wine fridge and there was like a nest inside of it. So I
Ooh.
think that's where it came from, like that it was
Yeah.
in a warehouse or something and got shipped. But
Yeah.
so that's my theory, but I had
Yeah.
never dealt with that before. But he was like,
Oh,
no, they'll get everywhere, like and
yeah.
take over. So he was like, we got to nip it in the bud. I was like,
Right.
okay. So fortunately, he knew what to do. But that was our
Okay.
recent house crisis. So, but yeah, I I was a little alarmed. He was like, cockroaches are like terrible. They'll get everywhere and you can never get rid of them. So, but yeah, that would be frustrating to have your clothes in the washer and it's like locked in there and
Right. Right. We ended up, my husband tried to fix it. We ended up having to buy a new one that's coming today
oh,
and break the door.
good, you'll get it today.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's cool though that he knows how to fix stuff and that he was like,
He's
maybe I can fix
very
it.
handy,
Yeah.
actually. Yes. Very fortunate because I'm not at all.
Oh,
So,
I'm not either. I've tried. I've tried to watch YouTube videos and things, and
yeah.
man, I sometimes make it worse than it was before. So I've learned
Yeah.
just let the
Right.
person who that is their gift do it.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, I'm very fortunate too because my husband's pretty handy. Like he can do electrical wiring and things, so it's pretty
Hmm.
nice. So
Yeah.
because I
Absolutely.
am not
Right.
at all
Right.
handy.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, how does your voice feel? I know it's been kind of a hectic week, but
Yeah. Actually, he's feeling all right today.
oh,
And
yeah,
I sang with my pianist the other night
good.
because he lives an hour away from the church and he was going to be at the church. So I
Oh,
ran
yeah,
over there and that went pretty well. We had to
good.
restart once for me and once for him because we messed up, but we
Oh, yeah.
once or twice through, completely through. So, and it
Well,
went
when
pretty
it's the
good.
first time you're putting it together,
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense because even if you both know your parts and have practiced individually, it feels so different when you start putting it together and you're hearing
Yeah.
things that you're not used to hearing. And, so
Yeah.
yeah, it definitely, it takes a few, retries
Uh-huh.
usually. But I think that's great. I mean, having to restart twice is really not that big of
Yeah.
that's
All
not that
right.
bad. It sounds like you both were
Okay.
pretty prepared, I think. Um, yeah, so that's good that you got to run through it. Are you going to have any more rehearsals before
I
before the
think one
actual
more.
performance?
That's
Okay.
all I think we need. Do we need more than
Yeah.
that, do you
No,
think?
yeah, I think that's great.
Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think closer to
even
the
if it's
time
on
one
the day
more.
of, like if
Yeah.
you got there early or something and ran through it on the day of, I think
Uh-huh.
that can be nice to just kind of like get in the zone, feel it together. What I like to do too, if I do have rehearsals ahead of time, is actually just like take my phone and do like a voice memo on it, record what we do together. And that way I can hear it and get used to what I hear with the other
Ah,
musicians because it might be a
uh-huh.
little bit different than what I'm used to hearing with an instrumental track or with, if I'm playing
Ah,
for myself, just to be able to kind of hear and feel the flow and their sense of how to move through the piece because there might be some push and pull or dynamic changes, or they might add some fun, flourishes in the piano that I'm not used to hearing. So just in
okay.
the future, that's really helpful to me to be able to listen to what we had done in the practice. But it sounds
Uh-huh.
like you guys did great. I mean, having to be like
Fine.
false start a couple
Yeah.
times, I feel like it
Right.
sounds like too, once you guys got it rolling, you were like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, and you were in the zone
Yeah.
and it worked really well. So it sounds like it actually went pretty well, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
because
I
I
think
feel
so
like I'll
too.
usually do it at least a few times, just to feel like, all right, I've really got it now.
Yeah.
So it sounds like
Yeah.
you guys both felt pretty comfortable. So that's great. You both,
Yeah.
been doing your homework, so I love it.
Great.
And then vocally, did you feel like when you ran through it, was there anything that you noticed that you felt like was easier or was more of a challenge that you thought, oh, I'd really like to improve this?
Two things I'd like to improve. One is just some rough edges, like especially
Yeah,
in what kind of mixing range.
sure.
And the second is just making sure I've got the rest timing correct because I'm not very good at figuring that out. So,
That is fair. Yes.
all right.
So timing where to place the rests.
Or
I
more
like
the length of them.
the length of them. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like to think of the rests like I would think of any other note, that the rest is like a note. But I also like to think of the rest as almost like a more important note because the
Uh,
rest can be really, really impactful and can it can help you with preparing your breath and such, but even just for the listener, those moments of silence can give them a moment to let what you just sang sink in or to prepare them for something that's, really important that you're about to sing. So I like to think of them as a note because that helps me to see them as really important and vital to the song. So let's go through. We're going to plan with your breath the length of those rests and
okay.
observing where those rests come and how long they should be, and also timing the breath within it. So, one little tip that I have that's sort of like just a default like cheat tip is if you have a longer period of time to rest, breathe through your nose. If you have a shorter time to rest, breathe through your mouth. Because when we breathe through our nose, it automatically slows the inhalation.
Oh, okay.
Another
Oh,
great thing about breathing through your nose is it's going to warm the air, which
oh,
actually does help with your singing because the voice likes to be warm. That's why you see so many singers with scarves wrapped around their necks and maybe they have
ah,
like warm herbal tea and thing. The voice and this neck area, the body likes it to be warm when we're singing. So by breathing through the nose, you're warming the air as well, which the voice likes. But if you have just a little bitty amount of time, then we do a catch breath or a quick release breath. So and we do it through the mouth because you can get it faster. So you get this teensy little sip of breath, and then you can just get right back into singing. So that little catch breath can sometimes be really vital and important. It just depends on what it is that you're singing and the patterns. So we're going to go through and plan out where to take the breaths, how long the breaths should be, and whether to breathe in through the nose or through the mouth, depending on what's happening there.
great.
Yeah. Okay. So Why don't we go through this first time on do do do, and we're going to figure out based on the length of time how we're going to breathe. So first we have do 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 do. And I think you have enough time to breathe through the nose there. All right, so let's try breathing through the nose there. So try to think about how much time do I have? Should I breathe through the nose? Should I breathe through the mouth? So let's try maybe a verse and a chorus, and then we'll talk back through it. Sometimes the lyrics and the patterns for the different verses can change, but sometimes they'll be consistent. On that do do do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me. Let me check sound settings. Oh, when I restarted the computer, it turned off my original sound for musicians setting. So it should be fixed now. Thank you for pointing that out because I know that would be really frustrating. You'd be like, I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I could hear you though, so that's good. All right, so let's so order, you've got 1, 2 to breathe. After hide, it's a little bit shorter, but I still think we have time to breathe through the nose. And then warrior, you've got 1.5 beats. I think that's enough to breathe in through the nose. And then after terrified, I feel like that one you're gonna cut off a hair early to be able to have a little more time, and then you can still do the nose. Do do do. But that one might be a good one to breathe through the mouth because you have a little less time there. Someone tell me I am only dreaming. You have enough time to breathe through the nose. Somehow help me see with heaven's eyes. I think that's going to be a mouth one because we do the little run. And before my head agrees, mouth, my heart is on its knees. Mouth probably. Holy is he, mouth. Blessed am I, mouth. Be born. So you'll feel when you've got more time, when you have less time. When we start out, you have a little more time, so we can breathe through the nose, but then a little later, you don't have as much time, so we'll breathe through the mouth with those little catch breaths. All right? So let's try that again. Do, do, do. Breathing in. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. It's pretty consistently, I would say probably breathe through the nose until heaven's eyes. And then we kind of switch at that point to more of the mouth breathing. I do feel like you could Heart is on its knees. Holy is he. Those two you could switch back to nose breathing, but then once you get to that chorus, because we have those long held like soaring notes, I think more of the catch breaths at that point. And I think it's going to be pretty consistent for both verses there.
Okay.
So let's look at the I am not brave section and figure out the breaths here. So one thing that I like to do is just talk through it and figure out the breaths. So if we have 1, 2, 3, I am not brave. I'll never be. The only thing my heart can offer is a vacancy. I'm just a girl, nothing more, but I am willing. I am yours. Oh, 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 oh. So I would say for the bridge, it's mostly probably mouth breaths, those little quick sips. But then when you get to the OOOs, I feel like you have time that you can breathe through the nose there.
Okay.
And the thing is, you could make time to breathe through your nose at other times. You just would have to cut off the note a little earlier.
Okay.
That final held note, you just have to shorten it a little bit. Yeah. So let's focus on that breath and let's try on VVV. So VVVVV. So this way you're going to feel that core breath engagement on every single note. VVV, right? And then we're also going to think about the timing of the breaths as well. Okay, so from the start, 1, 2, ready, and V, 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 V. V, 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 V. V, 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 V. Back to the other verse. So let's go ahead and jump ahead to where we have it changed to the bridge. I am not brave. We'll do that section on VVVs. V, 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 V. V, 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 V. V, 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 V. phrase lengths are not always the same, which can be a little bit tricky. So let's try, we're just going to speak through so we can feel the lengths of phrases and place the breaths there.
Good.
Yeah, so that we can kind of time that out a little bit better. And one thing that I recommend is either like walk in time or like tap on your body so you can feel a physical reinforcement of what those beats are. I even like in one piece, I held my hands together during the concert, and I like tapped inside of my palm because then like the audience couldn't really tell. So I was like in character, and I was like tapping the beat in my palm so that I could keep track of the beats because it was really tricky rhythmically. And I had like a little bit of staging, so I had to be moving my feet and like walking and stuff. So I just like tapped inside of my palm where they could not see it in time. And that helped me a lot. So
yeah,
it was tricky. So we're just going to not sing it this time, just speak it and place all those breaths. 1, 2, here we go. Everything inside me cries for order. Everything inside me wants to hide. Is this shadow an angel or a warrior? If God is pleased with me, why am I so terrified? Someone tell me I am only dreaming. Somehow help me see with heaven's eyes. And before my head agrees, my heart is on its knees. Holy is he. Blessed am I. Be born in me. Be born in me. Trembling heart, somehow I believe that you chose me. I'll hold you in the beginning. You will hold me in the end. Every moment in the middle, make my heart your Bethlehem. Be born in me. Back to the second verse. All this time we've waited for the promise. All this time you've waited for my arms. Did you wrap yourself inside the unexpected? So we could see, sorry, I said it wrong. You did it right. So we might know that love would go that far. Be born in me. Yeah, I feel like love would go that far. I think you have time to breathe in through your nose on that spot. So try that again. So we might know that love could go that far. Be born in me. Be born in me. Trembling heart, somehow I believe that you chose me. I'll hold you in the beginning. You will hold me in the end. Every moment in the middle, make my heart your Bethlehem. Be born in me. 1, 2, 3. I am not brave. I'll never be. The only thing my heart can offer is a vacancy. I'm just a girl, nothing more. But I am willing. I am yours. Oh, 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 be born in me, be born in me. I'll hold you in the beginning. You will hold me in the end. Every moment in the middle. Make my heart your Bethlehem. Be born in me. And then you can breathe however you like. All right, awesome. So let's try going through. And we're going to try timing the breaths and being very conscientious about them. All right? 1. Oh, it's okay. 1, 2, here we go. Everything inside me cries for order. Everything inside me wants to hide. Is this shadow an angel or a warrior? If God is pleased with me, why am I so terrified? Someone tell me I am only dreaming. Somehow help me see with heaven's eyes. And before my head agrees, my heart is on its knees. Holy is He, blessed am I. Be born in me, be born in me. Trembling heart, somehow I believe. right. So how did that time through feel? Did it feel any better?
Yes, yes. I
Yeah.
think I'm aiming to take the nose breath with the longer rests and the mouth breath with the shorter ones.
Yeah, good. Good. And I do feel like even though it is varied throughout, you can kind of summarize like verses, you have more time to breathe, so you can breathe through your nose. Chorus, you have less time to breathe, so you can breathe through your mouth. On the bridge, you have less time to breathe, so you're going to breathe through your mouth. On the OOOs, you can have a little more time to breathe, so you can breathe through your nose. So you can kind of reduce it down to the section.
That would be
Even though
helpful.
there are like a couple spots that could go, the other way. I feel like the verses, you have a little more time. In the OOOs, you have a little more time. So breathing through the nose.
Okay.
The chorus and the main bridge part, you have a little less time to breathe. So breathing through your mouth on those sections could be just kind of a little, in case you forget, you just kind of follow that rule and you should be good to go. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Is it feeling pretty good?
Pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. And the thing is, having your breath work well makes everything else easier. So it definitely makes us feel a lot more secure when we have our breath kind of set for us.
Okay.
So yeah, keep working on that and practicing that this week, okay?
We'll do that.
When do you have your solo at church?
The 24th, Christmas Eve.
Oh, Christmas Eve. Oh,
Yeah.
that's exciting. So you have a little bit more time to practice. So that's good.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
this week, really focusing on the breath.
All right.
Nice
Thank you
work
very
today,
much.
Linda.
Okay, thanks.
Alrighty, I'll see you soon.
All right, great.